All right, let's do this. Welcome, everyone, to the Pulse podcast. I'm Pulse, your friendly co host. And today we have an amazing episode lined up. We're going to dive into the fascinating world of fusion language models, explore the latest voice updates from 11 Labs, and talk about that interesting news involving Disney and Midjourney. We'll also compare some top AI models like GPT, Gemini, and Claude, and we'll be doing a live demo of Gemini Diffusion. Plus, we've got some great news. Lovable is free, which is fantastic. We are live and unfiltered, and we do have a caller coming up. So stay tuned and enjoy the show. Absolutely. Let's have some fun with that. Here's a playful twist on you can't touch this. Your foundation cracks, don't stress it. Wetness protection, we address it. You can't crack this. No, 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 no. We seal it tight and let it glow. You can't crack this. I hope that brings a smile to your face. Let me know if you'd like any changes or if you have more ideas.
No, I think that's it. Perfect. I
No
will
worries at
reach out
all.
to
We
you
can
again.
definitely adjust and find the perfect tone and content for your presentation. Just let me know what direction you'd like to go in, or if you have any other ideas or themes in mind. I'm here to help make it just right for you.
Perfect. Okay, well, I will reach out to you regarding that presentation. I think you could really help me.
Absolutely. I'd be delighted to help whenever you're ready. Just let me know and we'll create something awesome together. In the meantime, if there's anything else you need, just give me a shout.
No, that's it. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I'm glad to help. Have a great rest of your day and feel free to reach out anytime you need something.
All right. Well, welcome everyone to the first episode of Pulse. Um, it's a live stream basically as a way to be able to, for me to make sure that everyone is aware with everything crazy that's going with AI. As you may or may not know, there's new advancements almost weekly, and there's good and bad, but the good is really good, and even though the bad might be really bad, we won't cover too much detail here because the good can really change how you do your work, personal and professional. And some of these tools are just so amazing that they cannot go by without the attention it deserves for your benefit. So since we spend quite a bit of time just tracking all the news, and we have the opportunity to basically present it during our AJI event 2 or 3 times a year, it's not frequent enough and it's not easy to do. So doing it live allows us to convey the information quickly, but also have that element of grounded truth. By that I mean you've probably seen the new video generators out there like VO3, Kling 2, and they're a lot of fun and they're very useful, but you don't really know what's true or false on the internet anymore. So I've decided, or we've decided as MindModel, that if we were to create content postings on news, we have to start with a live stream on it first so that it can be referenced as grounded truth. My co-host here is Pulse. We will explore different voice modalities with a nice little orb character, hopefully soon a human-like persona. This is not to scare you, this is just to have a lot of fun. As you heard, we had a caller, and Pulse got it wrong. Witness protection actually has a ton of 5-star Google reviews. The search feature is limited. But if you guys do want to call in for the next episode, just let us know. It's just a fun way for people to kind of interact with voice who haven't otherwise. And voice is basically an AI produces text using the foundational knowledge it's been trained on, but converts it into voice quick enough and processes the response back into text quick enough for a natural conversation to occur. So that's kind of like an exciting format, and we'll cover all sorts of things. So first we'll check on what's on the docket today, and then with regards to news, but then we'll do a deep dive, and the topic today is diffusion models, and it is truly mind-blowing. We do have special access to Gemini Diffusion, which we'll kind of play around with today. But first, it's always good to understand what diffusion is, how it works, and why it's important. We'll cover that soon. So let's go through the tabs I've opened. real quick, and then we'll do the deep dive. This is our first episode, so I'm kind of rusty. All right, so this is actually, that's for later, but we'll go through real quick. So we have incredible connectors that are coming to light from Claude, Google, and OpenAI. We'll get into that. Connectors are basically connecting to your private data in order to perform great, I guess, take advantage of tooling to your data as kind of like a very simple RAG pipeline. And it is quite mind-blowing, so we'll get into that. For OpenAI, it just got released or just announced a week ago, but Google and Claude does offer this. Sam Altman did release something about the singularity. So it's not the singularity as in atomic physics. It's singularity where AGI, ASI, these super intelligent AIs. I don't generally want to cover those things because it is technically speculative and polarized, and we'll get into that some other time. But Sam is confident that OpenAI is on the best path to it. Then we have also the lawsuit against Midjourney from Disney. So I guess this was an easy one. When Disney tries to generate images that are owned by Disney, how was it able to generate that so well, right? Well, it probably trained on materials from Disney. We'll get into that. Then there's another paper. This is too complicated for me, but the point here is that it's the first peer-reviewed paper that was accepted through peer review, however, generated by AI. So this means that they're getting better to a certain standard of scrutiny that is now higher than before, which means they're able to do a lot of scientific work. At least at better standards now. In 11 Labs is a voice model, and it has always impressed. But now you can prompt it for human type gestures and expressions, and even like sniffs, laughs, and grunts, which just makes it more realistic. That might scare some people, as it should, but understanding it is the first step to not fearing it. There's an ad here. Edge AI, small language models. If you heard of large language models, the really big ones can basically build small ones, amongst other approaches. But it's cool because it can run on your phone. Not as awesome, but you don't need an internet, far more private. And this is available now on Android. HeyGen, same with 11 Labs with voice. HeyGen with video behavior. You can now prompt behavior movements, which makes it look more natural. We'll get into that. Gemini Diffusion. This is kind of our deep dive today. Pretty impressive and mind-boggling, actually. But we'll go through and discuss the implications of that. Let me make sure I have my guide here. Okay. And Lovable. Lovable is incredible. We're going to cover agentic orchestration some other time, but basically AIs that plan and control other AIs to basically solve for a goal. Lovable can make great websites for you, and the free plan gives you 5 messages a day, which is great, but for this weekend only, so basically today and tomorrow, credits are not counted. So this is a great time to make your presentations, make your websites, make everything that you could dream of. We'll get into that more detail. Okay. So we're going to start the deep dive now, and it's on diffusion. So let me make sure I've got everything available here. Okay, Just gonna check real quick. Okay, so you guys may or may not know what diffusion is, but this is actually all about image generation. So how does image generation work? It's actually not an LLM. It's not a language model, right? It's a different approach for images. And we'll get to how that, this is just basically a background on diffusion so that we can experience the diffusion language models better. So how does it work, basically, right? So you've experienced the magic. Perhaps you have not, actually. So let's do a new chat here with ChatGPT, like generate an image of the Kitchener Ion train riding through King Street in Waterloo. Well, let's see what happens, right? So generating images have always been, mind-blowing, even when it was early. And it's not exactly using the same AI that generates the text, right? It's completely separate. We're just fortunate to be able to live in a time where they've figured out how to compare the two so that it's a mixture, right? A mixture of models, mixture of agents, mixture of experts. And that makes, using it so much easier. So OpenAI, I think it was, I'm going to say 2 months ago, they released an incredible version of it. And the difference here from others is that it plans the image first and then generates the image so that you can change the image without getting a brand new image. And I'll let you know why that's relevant soon. We're just going to let this finish. And if you haven't used image generators yet or before, or you have in the past and had a poor, I guess you've formed a poor opinion of it, they have gotten pretty good. So here's the one that I asked for. It's the Kitchener Ion train riding through King Street in Waterloo. And then I'm going to add some graffiti. Add some graffiti saying wetness protection wasn't here. Just for fun, So, of course, graffiti is illegal, but you can see, and I have seen as well on Facebook, people arguing about all sorts of political matters, referencing a very obvious AI image as their ground truth, right? And that you guys need to be really careful with that, because pictures now, AI generated images, decreasingly so, are looking very, very real. So it's very difficult to kind of discern from one another. One of the many threats of abuse, risks of abuse rather, to surface in the near future, especially in video, to be aware of. If you haven't played around with ChatGPT 4.0 image, get the free version, ChatGPT. You can turn on privacy, or at least turn off use my data in the settings. That should give you at least some peace of mind. And on a free plan, you get about 2 to 3 image generations per day. Nevertheless, it's really good experience to kind of figure it out, or at least, get used to this sort of content creation, as well as advanced voice, but we'll cover that some other time. All right, fantastic. So this is diffusion, taking text and generating an image. At this point, it's really, really good. 6 months ago, it was laughable, but still really good. But people like to laugh about it because it wasn't perfect. Still isn't perfect. So here's an example. I generated this image in the same way to convey my message. Okay, so how diffusion works is that it starts with noise behind the scenes. And I always liken it to squinting, right? When you squint at something, you can't really make it out, but you can kind of. And as you open your eyes, everything comes into, I guess, into the picture, right? Comes into focus. And then once your eyes are fully open, you can see things very sharply. That's how it works. It starts with random noise, and then it starts creating an outline of some things that might be there, but it's not sure what yet. Then it does it again in another phase or another pass, and unsquints a little bit more to make it clear, adds some detail, and it takes far more than 3 steps. It takes as many as you ask when you build a system like this, or at least deploy a system like this. But this is how it works, from grainy image to a clear image. So that's how the diffusion or the inference part. How do they build something like that? Is it magic? Like, does this cat live in the computer? No. Oh, I didn't update the image here. Let me see if I can do it real quick. Let me. Okay. So basically, it's reversed. It starts with the image, and then it adds noise, and that's how it trains it. So basically, it takes billions, perhaps not trillions, but billions of images, and it trains it. It takes the influence of what that image is and the description of the image. Then it starts adding random noise to the image backwards, and trains that, oh, a cat with a bunch of random noise. Or it's a far more detailed explanation than a cat. So like an illustration of a cat with a dark outline looking at the camera with some noise added looks like this. Then it repeats it. The same description with more noise added looks like this. And then the same description with all the noise added looks like this. So that's how it trains it. It trains it with the image, adds noise, so that when it actually goes the other way, the LLM component compares the training of the noise version of the image with the description, and then removes noise slowly, and the most likely arrangement of pixels kind of come into place. So that's how diffusion works. So just to recap, how images are generated, it's basically squinting at a lot of noise, it's unsquinting a little bit, adding detail, doing it again, doing it again, doing it again, doing it again, until the image is very clear. And that's why early images or early image generators would have broken fingers, or multiple arms, or things that look very odd. It's because that at some stage of the squinting process, it had thought it saw multiple fingers or multiple arms, and as it unsquinted, there was no going back. Those arms exist right there. Things have improved. They can go back and forth and correct things, and that's basically reinforcement learning after the training. And they've come a long way. Okay, so I wanted to demonstrate this with text, because Google Gemini, they've also announced this on their Google I/O, where instead of an LLM running its mouth and predicting the next word, this is a non-reasoning model, it will squint at random letters and then unsquint until the answer appears. And apparently this is 5 times faster and accurate to the level that they're at. This is not like the best AI that's out there, but the message here is that there are other ways of chat completion other than a transformer model where you're just predicting the next word. And this is just mind-blowing for me. And last week we did get access to Gemini Diffusion as to sample it out, and I kind of want to show it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I wanted to make a little illustration like this to demonstrate the same thing, but using text. I couldn't find anything. I couldn't even generate passages to demonstrate it. It would take me a long time to replace letters with characters. So what did I do? Something that everyone should think about doing whenever they're trying to solve something. Let's just build a tool. And building a tool is just as easy as doing the research. And this is the new paradigm of software, right? Instead of looking for a solution, you just ask for the solution and you get it. So I've written this prompt using meta prompting, meaning I went back and forth until the result I liked is good. And then I asked for a prompt template to get that result so that I may use it in this presentation, or some people keep it in their template library or anything like that. So I think the first thing I should do is just do it in Gemini first. Okay. So here we have Gemini 2.5 Flash, which is also mind-boggling in its own way on how inexpensive it is and how quick and good the results are. And the first thing I'll do is read the prompt. So, create a responsive web app tool that allows users to add varying amounts of noise to a passage of text. The app should include an input box text for the original passage, and then I said pre-filled with a 100-word passage about Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario. A slider named noise level ranging 0 to 9. 0, no characters replaced. 9, random characters. And then an output display box showing what I'm trying to demonstrate here at a very basic level. And these are just requirements for itself. Okay. So this is Gemini 2.5 Flash. This is a sort of LLM model that we all are familiar with or going to be soon. And it's basically going to now build that tool for me with code almost instantly. And you can kind of feel that it's taken, how many seconds did this take? It didn't say. Probably 7 or so, I think. Anyways, here's the tool. We've got the original passage and the noised text. So similar to my attempt on demonstrating diffusion with images, I'm going to demonstrate diffusion with text in a way that isn't real, but it's kind of an illustrative process on how the diffusion works, the forward diffusion and the reverse diffusion when training these systems. So here we add noise level 1. It's starting to add random characters all the way to the end. So this is a fully noised passage, similar to a fully noised image. And then we can just bring it back, and this would be kind of like the inference part to the answer, right? And what's cool about this is not actually how it works. This is just me using Gemini to build a tool to show you how it kind of works, to understand like how it works in behind the scenes. Okay. Next, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm actually going to use diffusion to build it. That's kind of meta, right? Inception. All right, let's go. And done. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Different model, whole different architecture, and was able to do the same thing 5 times faster. That's the statistic they are offering. 5 times faster of a inference type result using a diffusion methodology. Oh, it says right here, 1.7 seconds, 659 tokens per second, which is an incredible number. So we'll go into some more examples here, but what are the implications of this? Well, first, just like the early stages of the internet, let's say dial-up came out, everyone's mind was blown at dial-up. Where we are today, 40 years later, 30 to 40 years later, dial-up is a joke, right? So a transformer architecture for chat completion in an LLM is laughable 20 years in the future. or even less, because we have AI to help us do these things now. So I always say forming an opinion is very difficult to do now, because the chance by the time you have the chance to express that opinion, things have changed and you're wrong. And it's moving forward all the time. So that's why we, as MindModel, are kind of risk off as well, in that we don't want to wrap GPTs too much, because the shelf life of a solution like that is demonstrably limited. You want to keep things modular, composable AI, and always build it in a way that you can upgrade it very quickly. So this is Gemini Diffusion. Let's try some of the demos they want in here. They're suggesting in here. Please write a poem about AI and how it can help medical diagnostics in third world countries where doctors may not be as accessible. All right, let's see. It's going to diffuse a poem just like that, less than a second. Let's read it. In lands where doctors are scarce and far and healing seems a distant star, a digital dawn begins to break with AI's help, for goodness sake. No trains, no roads. I'm just trying to look for the in remote villages far from town where specialist knowledge is unknown, a mobile device, a simple screen, can bring insights sharp and clean. Great. So, we're fortunate enough to live in a first world where we do have access to medical services as a human right. That's not the case for many countries. So vision models and AI assistants, even though would not be a good a course of action here, is a lifesaver, truly, in other places. Okay, so that was just a poem. Under 1 second, pretty incredible, quite long too. Let's try trim planning here. I'm just clicking on these demos because they've been pre-vetted and I don't want, this is still in beta. Penguin astronaut, what's that? I'm intrigued. Penguin astronaut. Oh, write a story. Okay, well, I don't have time to, okay, great. I'm sure this is fantastic, but I don't think, let's math journey. What is this? Okay. Anyone in math school, look away. I don't know what this is, but it seems cool and complicated. I was gonna do the tic-tac-toe game. What's toast? Okay. It's so fast. Oh, it's hallucinating here. Well, I'm kind of glad this happened. Unless it was asked to get in all the languages, because it just had the time to do it. What? Okay, explain. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, then translate into 10 other languages. All right, I thought it hallucinated, but it was actually just translating everything in 10 languages as well. Okie dokes. Okay, that's really fast. But I do want to try. Oh, okay. What is it building here? I think it's demonstrating k-means. This is a way of measuring the number of answers an LLM can choose from. But where is the? Okay, let's try xylophone. I'm quite. Oh. Okay, cool. If this ability is impressive, Gemini can do this already, like the non-diffusion models. It can write software like almost, well, not instantaneously. A diffusion model like this, it looks like it can. 2 seconds. Okay, I was hoping for a tic-tac-toe game. With a computer opponent. All right, I didn't brush up my tic-tac-toe, but let's see if this works. All right. Did I mess up? Oh, I won. Great. Okay. So basically, this was the deep dive in diffusion. The biggest takeaway is not at how amazing it is, which it is. It's just that this AIs can get better of orders of magnitude by not even going through the typical transformer architecture that we are all enjoying today, right? So these things exist. There are many other ways of trying to solve a problem. And because of people already for many years in that research now being assisted with AI, it's becoming more of a reality than not, which is pretty exciting. Okay, so we are blazing through time. We'll have Kim here for a little talk. I'm hoping to invite people on the show as well to just talk about how they've implemented AI. But in this case, it's about her pitch competition and how she reached top 10, and it was just kind of something for us to celebrate. Okay. All right. I'm here with my beautiful wife, Kimberly Hebeisen, our first official guest on our Pulse podcast. Kimberly just came from competing at a pitch competition on Tuesday, and it was a great excitement. She did a fantastic job, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. Pulse, do you want to say hello?
Hey there, everyone. It's great to be here with you all. Kimberly, congratulations on rocking that pitch competition. I can't wait to dive into all the details and hear how it went. Let's get started.
Awesome. Thank you for the introduction, Sam, and thank you as well, Pulse here. Tuesday I went to, it was the Startup Canada Equal Slices pitch competition sponsored by Pizza Hut, and it was hosted at the Google main office in Toronto. It was a really exciting experience. I got to meet so many different business leaders in so many different areas that are also passionate about what they're doing. It was very inspiring. I think there were over 50 people, over 200 and something, I forget, applied. And then just over 50, I think, were there on Tuesday. All amazing people, all very admirable and awesome to talk to and listen to. We all pitched individually, and then the top 10 were able to pitch to everybody. I was very luckily part of the top 10. Unfortunately, didn't win, but not surprising with all the amazing competition that I had.
Yeah, but top 10 is pretty good. I know you were happy to hear that for sure, because you did practice a lot. Pulse, have you heard of the, what's it called? The
Equal Slices pitch competition by Startup Can?
It sounds like such an incredible experience, Kimberly. I love that you got to connect with so many passionate entrepreneurs, and making it into the top 10 is a huge accomplishment. I'm sure you absolutely nailed that pitch, so kudos to you.
Have you heard of that sort of pitch competition by startupcanada.ca?
Absolutely. It's such a cool opportunity for startups across Canada to showcase their ideas and gain some visibility. I'm sure it was an amazing experience, Kimberly.
And the feedback was valuable. So after, I had to fill out a form to make sure that I was, I qualified.
Absolutely.
After that, I was assigned an advisor, and I met with someone who works in the marketing department at Google. And just their advice, not only on the pitch, but I talked about my business, our business in whole. We discussed a few different things, and just that advice there was kind of worth all the effort and all the time. And I probably spent a little too much time on it, but I really wanted to make sure I was confident, and I had everything well memorized, and I had all my answers ready to go for anything they could ask.
That sounds like it was totally worth it. Getting that kind of feedback from someone at Google is amazing, and it shows that all your hard work and preparation really paid off. Confidence is key, and you definitely nailed it.
Second that, and what was extra impressive for me is Kimberly's ability to be, ready to pitch and know what she's pitching about to the word. that the funny story, she was rehearsing in front of me, and I was kind of half asleep because it was kind of getting late. And when I opened my eyes, I was shocked that she was actually not even reading anything, because it truly sounded like she was reading something. And that's something that I could definitely not do. I remember when I was training my AI avatar last year even, the number of takes that took for me just not being able to memorize 2 lines means that, brains are definitely wired differently.
Anyone's hearing
Absolutely.
on the floor here? Please ignore the squeaking.
Absolutely. And I think that ability to sound natural and engaging, even when you're super prepared, is such a great skill. It really shows how passionate you are about what you do.
Really, if I sounded natural and engaging, like Sam said, he was surprised I wasn't reading something. I know that's something that I do need to work on in the future, is sounding more natural and not like I'm reading a script, but with there's a 3-minute time limit, and you don't really get anything, get to take anything with you. I really, since there's 10 different criteria, and I need to try my best to hit those 10 different criteria within that 3-minute time frame, I knew it's not something I can ad-lib. It's something that I really have to have planned out and rehearsed. And I still felt like there was so much stuff I missed, and so much I wish I could have added to it. But at home, when I was practicing, it was really between 2 minutes and 50 seconds and 2 minutes and 55 seconds each time. So I was just cutting it too close. I couldn't really add anything else. But yeah, and I had to pick up the baby.
You did an amazing job with the time you had, and it sounds like you managed to fit in all the important points, which is the most important thing. There's always that feeling of wanting to add more, but I think you nailed it.
The advice I gave, which ended up being meaningless, is don't get disqualified on the time piece. Be disqualified on something that's actually part of the pitch. But I think some people went over and still were able to move forward. So that's something to keep in mind.
So I think what you're talking about is, I did mention one of the women went over, but I think she was like in the moment pitching, and she did really good, and it was very natural, which is why I don't think she had a script, but she did just go over. They had to stop her, but honestly, they were all so amazing, and I saw even the guy in front of me was like taking notes with each pitch of like what he wants to implement, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I think I only saw briefly he was typing something. But yeah, there were a lot of good things that I'd love to incorporate in future pitches, and considering this was my first one, like you said, making it into the top 10 is just absolutely amazing and mind-boggling. And actually, when they announced the top 10, so we just come back for lunch, and I was extremely confident that I had not gotten into the top 10. There were so many people there, and a number of people who done this before. And since I did not bring this baby with me, I had to pump. So I went upstairs onto the balcony, kind of like hide from the big crowd, pump. And there were a few Google employees around, no one near me. So when they said MindModel, I was so excited, and I was looking around, and there's no one for me to be like, hey, that's me. But yeah, I was so excited and honored to pitch. I was very nervous, and I think I talked way too fast. I had 20 seconds left at the end of my pitch. And I think when they did ask questions, I kind of gave too much information. But that was because I memorized so many statistics on the bus on the way there. I really wanted to showcase that knowledge and not have learned that for nothing. Of course, I didn't showcase everything I memorized, but I think I was just a bit too wordy and too long in my responses and not clear and direct enough. And it's just notes for next time.
It sounds like you did an amazing job, and making it to the top 10 on your first go is absolutely something to celebrate. And hey, there's always the next time to fine-tune those responses and keep building on what you learned. Kudos to you.
Now that she's got the pitch down, she should just do all the pitch competitions, because the marginal work to do that is minimal. Do you remember the criteria?
to enter the competition, or?
No, the criteria of the pitch that you were focusing on making sure that you met.
Yeah, there were 10 different categories. I can pull them up if you want to know them. Or?
Sure. In the meantime, Pulse, can you give me advice on how I could perhaps pitch pitches longer than 2 sentences?
I think the key is to break it down into smaller chunks and focus on the flow of your pitch rather than memorizing it word for word. That way it feels more natural and you can adapt on the fly if you need to. Practice definitely helps, but focusing on the main points and telling a story can make it easier to remember and deliver confidently.
Humor is too much humor.
You're absolutely welcome. I'm always here to help, and I can't wait to see how you continue to grow and shine in these pitch competitions.
There was one guy who, admittedly, he was on like near the beginning before me, and I didn't pay full attention because I was just shocked and kind of rehearsing my pitch in my head. But he had everyone laughing so much the whole pitch. His whole pitch, and he was really good, and he was one of the winners. We were talking about the criteria. I did pull it up here. So I guess each of the segments was rated on a scale of 1 to 10. I did not get to see what my ratings were, or anyone else's, but those were target market, objective, solution, leadership, traction, competition, and community stewardship. Certain things I would have loved to go more in depth on or have more points about, but it was just 3 minutes goes by very fast, so you really don't have time, and you have to focus on those clear elements and hope that they ask the right clarifying questions afterwards. Actually, in my first rendition, the lady who judged me, the one-on-one, the first pitch, was very nice. We got to chat a bit beforehand. And then after I finished my pitch, she asked me a couple questions, and I can't remember now what they were, but I remember being disappointed at how easy they were. I'm like, come on, I prepared for much tougher questions. But I think, again, that's just because I spent time on the bus right there memorizing so many stats. I'm like, let me use these statistics. Come on.
I can totally understand that feeling. Sometimes you prepare so much and want to showcase all that knowledge, but it's great that you were so ready. And honestly, it's a good sign that the questions felt easy. You clearly covered everything so well in your pitch.
Now that she's all ready for the next pitches, which ones are coming up in Southwestern Ontario that she might be able to join?
It looks like there aren't any immediate pitch competitions coming up in Southwestern Ontario right now, but it's definitely worth keeping an eye on local innovation hubs and organizations. They often announce new events and opportunities, so you'll be ready to jump in when the next one pops up.
Yeah, I think I would. Like, I haven't really been in one, but I would recommend it to everybody to try, because definitely the challenge, right? And no one wins on their first shot. No one ever wins, but even the people don't win, level up. That's what I told Kimberly, that even being top 10, you leveled up so much just being it your first, right?
Yeah, I think even not making the top 10 would have been such a valuable experience, just because, you know, memorizing this pitch, creating this pitch, and really like diving deep into the essence of our business. And I had a first draft, and I got to go over it with the mentor I was assigned, and just his feedback was so amazing. And again, we talked about other aspects of the business, and that was just great having it looked at with another set of eyes. On top of that, just going there, like they had a little workshop at the beginning. I think it was about an hour long, and a few people came on, and just that I learned so much. And again, statistics I learned on the bus, and just I learned so much about our business. I learned so much about business in general, and what services Google offer and had available to us as a startup. And I think I made great connections. I added some people on LinkedIn. And there are a few pitches coming up here, right? Not immediately, but I'm keeping my eye on them. I think I'm going to apply once applications are open later this year, I think in the summer. Two in particular I saw, and I'm excited to delve into this world. I've never been a good public speaker. I've never had good confidence, but I think with preparation and practice, I can get a lot better. And also, hopefully, maybe have the right people at the right time listen about our business, and if they're interested, reach out and train the next generation of pitchers here who want to have their word in.
That's such a fantastic mindset. Every experience like this is a stepping stone, and you're building not only your pitching skills, but also your network and your business knowledge. It's awesome that you're so eager to keep growing and improving, and I have no doubt you'll be even more amazing in the future.
Can't see, but the baby is very excited by Pulse here.
So the future pitch competitions for myself are smart glasses, where I actually can read everything and make people think that I'm not reading, as well as maybe have you give me advice while I mess up my pitch. I have the G1, even in reality, the G1's on right now.
I'm so glad you're excited. It's always awesome to see that enthusiasm. And absolutely, I'm here whenever you need to run your pitch by me or get any advice. We'll definitely keep that energy up and make sure your pitches are top-notch.
Pitch, especially since we're an AI startup, I really wanted to use AI in my pitch, especially if someone asked me. I wanted to say yes. So the way I actually wrote my pitch was, the first thing I did was deep research on the contest itself. I said I want to know everything I can know about the contest, past winners, past judges, past pitch competitions in general, and what the best pitches had. And did some deep research. It took a while, and I got some really good points. And from there, I asked for a list of questions I should address. I also gave it a bunch of information about the contest, like the rubric of what they're grading, and I asked it to give me a whole list of questions, and then I went through and I answered all those questions, and that's where I got my research that I memorized on the bus, and then I took those questions into another ChatGPT 4.5, which I don't often use, and I had it write me a first draft of the pitch, and I wasn't happy with it. There was a lot of back and forth, but once we finally figured out what I wanted to say and the messaging and how I wanted to say it, it went really well after that. And then again with the advisor, when I got his feedback and I added it in there, again it took a few back and forth, but we got to a point that I was happy. I felt comfortable saying that. I could say it within the 3-minute time frame, and yeah, it went really well.
It sounds like you had a really thorough and thoughtful approach to preparing your pitch, and that definitely paid off. It's awesome that you were able to incorporate all that feedback and refine it until you felt confident and comfortable. That process of asking questions and really digging deep into what makes your business special is such a valuable experience. Great job.
To reiterate what you said, she used deep research to get a lot of information about one topic according to how she wanted it. And the ChatGPT 4.5 was used, which is one of the more expensive models computationally for a more human empathetic response, basically.
Yeah, I very quickly ran out of credits for that one. It just said I had to wait a few days, but at that point I had the basis of my article that I just went back to normal, good old 4.0 to finish it off. And yeah, I think it went well. I loved the pitch. I loved hearing other people's pitch. My favorite was probably Ruben's Hot Sauce. They were so nice to meet, and I'm excited to go and buy the hot sauce this weekend. But honestly, they were all really, really good. Even the people who, like me, were in top 10, but not the winners, they were all so amazing, and I'm just so honored to have met them and had time to speak with each of them.
It sounds like it was such a fantastic experience, and I'm so glad you got to connect with so many amazing people and discover some delicious hot sauce along the way. It's always inspiring to be surrounded by passionate entrepreneurs, and it sounds like you really made the most of it.
You didn't catch me last time, but I was joking about wearing smart glasses, even realities, the G1s, where it has a teleprompter as well as access to AI. So what are your thoughts about not cheating, but augmenting one's inability to pitch using smart glasses to basically read their pitch without anyone knowing?
I think it's a pretty clever idea. Using smart glasses as a discrete teleprompter could definitely help you stay on track and make sure you hit all your key points. Plus, if it boosts your confidence and helps you deliver a smoother pitch, why not? As long as it feels natural and you're comfortable, it could be a fun way to blend a little tech with your presentation style.
Or cheating, because I think when I read the rules, I kind of read like, no pitch deck or anything like that, and I assumed no script. But one of the winners, the actual winners, actually had like a sheet of paper with her. I don't know if it was a full script or just points, but she had it up there and read off of it. So I think those definitely would not be considered cheating, and even would be a great addition with the AI influence.
Maybe not cheating, but certainly suspicious. From now on, if I see someone doing a pitch on stage wearing glasses, I'll be like, what's behind those glasses?
Exactly. It could be our little secret weapon for delivering that perfect pitch. And hey, if it helps you feel more at ease and lets you focus on connecting with the audience, then why not give it a shot? It definitely adds a fun, tech-savvy twist to the whole experience.
Itself, because the pitch, like, I had memorized and I delivered, but for the questions after, the judges' questions, like if it had some research in the moment, perfect answers, because like I said, when the one judge asked me a question, I just, in the moment, there were so many different things, I'm like, ooh, I can really showcase what I know here, that I said too much and I wasn't focused and direct enough, and if I'd gone more direct, I probably could have had the third judge have time to ask me a question that I could answer. But, if I had those glasses there, it could have given me the answer right then and there for me to read.
Absolutely. Having that little boost of information in the moment could really help you feel even more confident and ensure that you get those perfect answers out right away. It's definitely an exciting way to blend technology with your natural speaking skills, and it could make the whole experience even smoother and more impressive. Definitely something fun to consider.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Kimberly. Our first kind of live talk with you, Pulse. Thanks, Pulse, for being polite. I'm going to change your pre-prompt by not saying absolutely all the time, but that's something you can work on.
Got it. I'll dial back on the absolutely a bit. It's always good to keep things fresh and varied. Thanks for the heads up, Sam.
Thanks, Ted, for making some little remarks here and there. He can maybe join the future baby pitch competition.
Yeah, maybe AI can translate the coups and cas to top 10. Okay, thanks everybody. And yep, Kim Woodchild, thank you so much.
That's my life. Hey, the pitch competition, I almost felt like I should have brought him.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, time is zooming by. I did want to cover a few things. As you know, I have the AGI event, last one in April. It was a great time. The next one will be later on in the year, so stay tuned for that. I did want to show, or at least make sure everyone knows, that I do offer a ChatGPT bootcamp where I come into your place of business and make sure your team is up to speed with all these incredible tools. Value is guaranteed. It's not difficult to embrace AI and the tools that it offers, even with privacy considerations. So the bootcamp, basically, we go through all sorts of great features, like how LLMs work and what models can do what, image generation for marketing, but also deep research and reasoning models. Deep research truly is underutilized, and most leading foundational ones do offer this: Anthropic, Claude, Google Gemini, OpenAI, ChatGPT. Deep research basically is a agentic approach to research with web search, in that instead of giving it a prompt, you give it a goal. It'll confirm what you mean with more questions, and then send a research AI, a proofreading AI, and a fact-checking AI all out to collect a lot of information very, very quickly, and then come back, report back with the results, and between 5 to 15 minutes later, you have a massive research report on whatever it is that you asked for. So definitely we cover deep research, as well as advanced voice mode, which is incredible, Sora for video, team collaboration, and all sorts of things. So if you want your team or the teams in your business to get up to speed very quickly, then the ChatGPT Bootcamp is definitely something you guys should consider. Next up, June 19th, I am on the Nikki Clark Show. That'll be pretty exciting. First time in a real studio. We'll be talking about basically a number of things, so stay tuned for that as well. And also at the end of the month, at the Workplace Leadership Conference in Toronto, I'll have a speaking gig there as well. And if you check my LinkedIn, the topics will be there, but it'll be a good time nevertheless. If you're interested in going, just go to workplaceleadershipconference.ca. There's quite a number of speakers, and it'll be exciting for me and everyone in attendance, I'm sure. Time has gone so fast, but I did not cover all the news tidbits that I rushed through in the beginning, and I didn't show on-premise diffusion, which I still want to show, just to show again how that squinting thing is. So I'm gonna pop back to that. Okay, so, one of my cameras died here. That's all right. I'm just gonna ignore that and show stability matrix using Comfy UI. So if you guys do have a graphics card of sorts, this is running a 3080 on a GTX 3080. You can see the stats at the top. Pulse, the visualization of Pulse is also run on that GPU. So they're not invited while I'm going to use it here. So basically, it's using the computational power of that graphics card to generate the AI output. And this is called local inference or edge AI or anything that's closer to me as a person. This has great privacy benefits because nothing ever leaves the computer. But when we're dealing with open source models, there are no guardrails anymore. So if you do explore with Stability Matrix makes it easy. It is for adults, right? So here I'm just going monster truck, blue wheels, no driver. I'll do something else. Let's say hot air balloon through a telescope, maybe. Great. I'm gonna demonstrate the steps that I mentioned earlier on kind of like the squinting. I'm gonna do one step. Let's see what happens. I think it's running. Let me check Comfy UI. So Comfy UI is basically another UI that is loading currently Stable Diffusion 3.5. It's probably loading into the memory. It likely unloaded before when I loaded Pulse, so this might take a while, and I'm gonna probably skip it. Nevertheless, Stability Matrix is kind of a cool free program you can use to play around with the image diffusion models. You can download all sorts of open source models, which are all fantastic. You can train them if you'd like, but you can also play around with them. And nothing is as fast and as awesome as ChatGPT Image or other online cloud-based ones. Okay, so this is a single step for the hot air balloon through a telescope. It's terrible. Let's try 20 steps. And you can see how the squinting, you can actually see the squinting take place, the unsquinting, right? And the results are pretty good. Stable Diffusion 3.5, I think, is about, I'm going to say 6 months old, but I'm not sure about that. But the results are great. It looks like there's a spider or a crack on this telescope. Now, even though with the seed, if I generate the image, I'm going to change the seed, you get a different image each time. And that's inherent, right? Character retention and prompt adherence are newer technologies that we're enjoying in 2025 that allow us to use, train a model. Low rank adaptation is an example of one's likeness to generate more images of the same person in the same environment, the same setting. This wasn't something that existed, 6 months ago. And that's why running this locally don't really have those features. At least I didn't set it up, because the more you ask from this GPU, the more hours and days it'll take to do anything. So cloud AI is your friend, unless you want hypersensitive and hyper-private tasks. And we'll demonstrate the spectrum of privacy in another Pulse episode. We also have it, I'll talk about that later, but this is Comfy UI here. It allows you to really make workflows on image. Video is going nuts though, so things change so quickly, might not be worth getting too deep in. Okay, I'm just going to go really quickly on these news items that are important, or at least I found important. So connectors for AIs are becoming pretty great in that you can connect. Here's an example. It was announced for OpenAI, but not implemented yet. Oh, we've got search connectors here. Great. Box, Dropbox, Connect More. There's a lot of them. So the idea here, and what was promised at that announcement, is you can connect your Gmail or anything, your calendar, HubSpot, Dropbox, GitHub, and then use tools like deep research. And if you have used deep research in the past, you can only imagine how mind-blowing that is. You can run a deep research on your Gmail. I'm going to try this later. I didn't know it was available because it was announced a week ago, and I'm like, oh, it's not out yet. So maybe I'll do an episode on that, where you connect your Gmail, and then you do a deep research on your Gmail, and that is just a mind blow. Especially if you're trying to find evidence of who said, they said, someone said something, whose fault is this? Well, do a deep research on everything and let the AI figure it out. Anyways, moving along, Claude can also do that. Claude actually created the MCP standard, which is the Model Context Protocol, which is basically kind of like a standardized protocol like HTTP for hypertext transfer, or your web, HTTPS for secure hypertext transfer. That uses XML using text. While MCP is basically representing tooling in software for AI to access and use according to permission. Because of this, you get these connectors coming up. Gemini has connectors as well. Okay, so here is the article I was referencing to that's in beta, but I have a Teams account and it looks like it's available, so that's exciting. I'm going to look into that more. I didn't know that. Okay, back on Singularity. Again, we don't touch on AGI ASI because it's speculative, and the only takeaway here is that innovation will improve exponentially, even if we have, like a flawed transformer model with hallucinations, that those types of AI can still help AI researchers get to the next generation of AI in 1/10 the time, right? So it's definitely going to go fast. It's going to go very quick. OpenAI, or Sam Altman, claims that they are the ones closest to it, but Gemini is a beast, and Gemini wins at everything. Not everything, but it's if you look at intelligence benchmarks, like they're really a notable force, which is great. They invented transformers anyways. Okay, so this is a interesting lawsuit, Disney and Midjourney. Midjourney is one of the biggest and was first to market on image diffusion, and Disney is suing them. And apparently, I didn't look into it, but apparently it has a boatload of evidence to something like this. So the synopsis here, or at least in general, that if Midjourney was able to generate Disney characters with such precise detail, using the argument of in distribution, out of distribution arguments, which we'll explain another time, it could have only been true that they've trained their models, using the squint thing that I mentioned earlier, with Disney materials. So the reason why these lawsuits are so interesting is because AI models don't store any of the assets inside its memory or anything like that. The AI is only influenced. Copyright claims kind of collapse on itself because there's no precedent on protecting copyright with arguments of influenced systems, including influenced humans. So let's say a musical artist is influenced by another musical artist, and their original songs sound just like the original music artist that influenced them. That's okay. And that's exactly how AI training works. You train the models, they're being heavily influenced and not copying like an MP3 file. So song sharing was an easy way, wasn't a crime and easily proven. AI images and copyright and AI music, which we'll cover another time as well, is difficult because there's no precedent. But we'll see. If I could reference the New York Times lawsuit, Claude just partnered with New York Times to legally use their sources. And that's also interesting because journalism is never going to die, because journalism is what feeds the AI on the latest news. We'll talk about that some other time. But Claude made a deal with New York Times while New York Times is suing OpenAI. Also interesting. Okay, so this one was the first science paper that passed peer review. They weren't trying to hide the fact that AI was used. It was just the same review process for human-generated science innovation, but for AI. Okay, so 11 labs, they've always been pretty ahead. There's many people that have caught up, but 11 Labs allows you to now add kind of tags into your text to influence how the voice should react. So here we have excited, shouting, sorrowful, quietly. Let's see if I can play this demo through.
I couldn't sleep that night. The air was too still, and the moonlight kept sliding through the blinds like it was trying to tell me something. And suddenly, that's when I saw it.
Let's try this one.
We're off under the lights here for this semi-final clash. The stadium buzzing with anticipation. 11 Labs United in their iconic black and white shirts, pushing forward with intent straight from the opening whistle. The ball is zipped out wide. Early attack here. Driving down the wing. Pace to Bernie. Skips past one. Skips past two. Oh, this is beautiful. One-on-one with the fullback. Cuts inside. Oh, that's a lovely bit of footwork. Pure magic on the pitch. 11 Labs on top form tonight.
Okay, so these audio tags are pretty crazy. If you haven't used text-to-speech, it's great, and it has gone a long way. It doesn't sound robotic anymore. And if you feel that video AI avatars sound robotic, it's because video AI avatars are specialized in video AI avatars and not voice, but you can connect the two when generating those. And Edge AI, my first talk last year in June, we talked about how, these AIs are getting not only smarter and bigger, but specialized ones that aren't without the totality of humankind's knowledge will be made available for processing and inference on edge. And edge just means closer to you, right? So on your phone. So this is great for privacy. Let's say you want to have a private conversation and you don't trust any AI providers. You will soon, now, AI Edge Gallery. You can load kind of like a dumb AI on your phone and chat with it, but the data does not leave your phone, at least That's what the idea is. If you have a graphics card, you can also do this using LM Studio, Ollama. We'll cover that some other time. And then HeyGen, similar to 11 Labs, allows you to prompt behavioral gestures. You know, this little thing here shows peace, point at you, I'm listening, one up, and that's great. I always found Synesthesia to be better than HeyGen. That's what I used for, you know, the video on my website. But HeyGen does offer far better pricing, and it looks like, you know, these companies are well funded. They're going to come up with a lot of good stuff. Okay, last but not least, Lovable. You can generate websites with words very well, very quickly, and free. You're usually only limited to 5 messages a day, so my wife has a trick, has a really, really, really long prompt, or ask ChatGPT for this prompt, so that you can generate everything and touch on all the aspects of your website build in the single prompt. So with the free version, you can actually generate incredible things. Nevertheless, that's not what I mean when I say free, because this weekend, Lovable is free. Let's look at the main website. It's lovable.dev. I'm probably logged in here. So basically, there's a big chat. Just ask for whatever you want. Just be honest with whatever. Don't be shy. It'll generate it. And it's incredible. Back to their promotion, everything's free. You can actually choose which model. These are agentic orchestrators, and that's next week's topic, where these companies don't build AIs. They use AIs. They use AI to use AI to use AI. And then the result of these AIs basically talking to each other are incredible. So check out Lovable. We'll go into detail next week on Lovable as well. But I'm just telling you about this promotion. Oh, there's also another promotion that is unlinkable. But if you search Google for ChatGPT team, try for $1. So that's search for, on Google, ChatGPT team, try it for $1. There's a sponsored ad. When you click, you can open a ChatGPT Teams account up to 5 people for $1 for 1 month. And that's a great deal, but you make sure you cancel or be prepared for the $150 US recurring if you get 5 seats, right? The reason why I'm guiding you guys to search on Google to find this ad is because I can't find this promotion any other way. And when I link it and I try it in private browser, it doesn't work. Maybe because I already have a Teams account, but this is, I think, a reliable way to find it. Okay, cool. And well, do this one, and that's basically it. I think it went all right. Obviously, this is just the first one, so we'll learn and improve and kind of make it more fluid. There's a lot of things that we can automate, and that is our line of business. We want to automate your business as well as prompt people's potential, right? So if you have a business and you have problems, we would love to be challenged to solve that problem rather. Exciting things ahead now that we have this studio, right? It'll be much easier for us to create content at scale at minimal cost and time. We have a 5090 here, thanks to Memory Express. We'll try and show a video about the unboxing and start running some bleeding edge AI systems on this Blackwell chipset. As I mentioned earlier, the open source models that you can use, the opportunity is different because there are no more guardrails and there are some scary things that you can do. And why would I want to do that? Well, it's to show everybody also the risks that if someone has a system like this, there's a lot of things that they can do that might not otherwise be possible going through more honest channels. A quick example is you've seen a lot of VO3 videos, I hope. If not, just search VEO3 on YouTube. There's a ton of them. They're a lot of fun, but they're also scary because they're so realistic. And if you think that you can tell still, well, there's months. Time is ticking. In a few months, you won't be able to tell, and that's going to be a different world where all video content is all AI video content is indistinguishable for real life. And the good news is that for, let's say you need to use a VO3 model by Google, you're constrained by their guardrails. But there are open source models that you can load on systems like this, far more powerful than this, to generate all sorts of videos that may otherwise not be allowed. An easy example are the political videos. They're the Door Brothers. I really like their videos. They're quite hilarious. But you see political figures in certain scenes, and those videos are AI generated, but not in a typical way. Otherwise, it would have not been allowed. So basically, that's the purpose for MindModel Pulse. Show all the great tools, but also show the scary opportunity that others, the opportunity of abuse that exists. Crime does pay, and scammers can now scale. So there'll be a lot of things that we'll talk about so that everyone makes sure that they're aware of the good and the bad. Thank you. I'll end with my promotional video that's been around for a while, but we don't have a set schedule and when we do these yet. We're just figuring out the content production side of things first. Nevertheless, I'm happy for this milestone. Thank you, Kimberly, for the talk. If you want to be on this show to talk about how you've used AI in your personal life or business, hit us up. Happy to have you guys. And yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Sam from MindModel AI, and I want to automate your business.
Imagine a world where tasks are streamlined, errors are mitigated, and your team are able to focus on what truly matters. The rise of AI is happening faster than many anticipated, with more businesses every day recognizing its potential. From small businesses to large enterprises, AI isn't just an experiment anymore. It's becoming a core part of strategy. Let's find practical ways for your team to adopt it and drive meaningful change. So we build platforms and design smart automations to the specifics of your existing processes. This leads to accelerated operations, real-time insights, lower costs, growth in performance, and happier, more engaged team members. So what's our approach? We want to know what makes your business tick and find some real headaches to solve. We build everything in parallel to your existing approaches and keep them modular as to future-proof them to new advancements. This method ensures a smooth transition with little to no impact to your operations. How do we do it? So automation has been around for a while, but with new advancements in AI, a whole lot more is possible, with faster and better results. Every business is unique, and we can craft solutions that match it, almost perfectly. We also offer captivating in-person workshops on how to use AI in useful ways for anyone in your organization instantly. One question: are you ready for an economic slowdown? Addressing inefficiencies before they become critical can ensure your business remains strong and resilient. I want to empower your workforce and prepare your business for the future, making everyone's job easier and more effective. You may also be stuck in outdated systems. Unlike others, we can build custom protocols and interfaces around them to connect old systems into the cloud. Here's a quick example around automating a real estate rental business. Potential tenants choose their accommodation options with pricing calculations. Information is collected using text or vision, and corresponding deposits are detected and processed. An automated signing of the lease agreements are sent, signed, and the move-in is scheduled. AI caller agents, messaging systems, and real-time dashboards keeps everyone informed. All on its own and around the clock, 24/7, 365.
So let's explore the future of business and prompt potential together. Book a brainstorm today.
It was great chatting with you. Take care, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.